Hey, what's up there, Internet? I'm Troy to the Max Extreme.
And I'm Ghost Hunter Dave.
Today, together.
Just like riding a bicycle.
Yep. Let's start again.
All right.
Hey, hello there, Internet. I'm Troy to the Max Extreme.
And I'm Ghost Hunter Dave.
Together, we form Imperius Rex.
The third season of Imperius Rex.
That's right.
Who'd have thought we made it this far?
Nobody.
No one.
Everyone was against us.
Yes.
Mostly just the wives.
Yeah. And they're turning the kids, too.
Today, we'll be going over the very acclaimed
Yes.
graphic novel DayTripper
Oh, boy.
by Fabio Moon and Gabriel Ba.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So strap yourself in as we rocket into the third season of Imperius Rex.
Boop, 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 boop.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
We're kicking this off with a nice hot cup of black coffee.
Yeah.
You know, because that's how these guys like to do it.
That's right.
These two guys, they really, this book's a love letter
To coffee.
to coffee and cigarettes. But I've got too much invested. I can't
Start
tobacco
lighting any
up
fire.
these pages.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So we're just gonna do the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to dive right in to DayTripper, favorite book of all time.
It's a favorite book. Bar none?
I think it may have gotten there. You know?
It's really good. Like,
Yeah.
I had no idea what this was about, and you lent it to me saying, like, I need to read this. And I'm like, okay, Dave.
Yeah.
I get it.
Hold on here. Back it up.
So I did read it a couple years ago, and then more recently again, and it is heart-stopping on
is.
how emotionally devastating some of these issues are.
But still uplifting and
Yeah, it's very
inspirational.
bittersweet.
Yeah.
Very bittersweet.
I think when I walked into your house, you sat up and gave me a hug.
I did.
After
did.
you finished it.
I did.
It's so good. So it's by Fabio Moon and Gabriel Ba, two
Mm-hmm.
Brazilian twins who share the writing, art duties, everything.
Yep.
And it's also lettered by Sean Connett. I don't know the exact pronunciation.
Sorry.
And and colored by Dave Stewart, who, like, he colors just about every one of my favorite books.
Mhm.
Big Dark Horse colorist.
That's right.
Does everything. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely these guys' book.
Yeah. But getting into it, if you don't know already, every issue takes place at a different point in time in your main character's life.
Yeah, the main character is a Brazilian obituary writer named Brás de Oliveira Domingues, I believe.
Yeah.
Trying
Sounds so good off an American tongue.
I know. And I mean, like, the tagline of this is kind of like, what are the most important days of your life?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's kind of what this all revolves around.
Mhm.
That and death.
Yes.
They go hand in hand.
Yes. Very much so.
So, Brás's father is a famous novelist. Over the course of the issues, he has various relationships, two main ones. At some point, he has a child of his own.
Yep.
And this is a very odd book to describe to somebody because every issue
Right.
ends with him dying
Yes.
at a different stage in his life.
Yep. That kind of threw me off guard because I don't think you might have mentioned that to me the first time I read it. And then
Surprise!
I was like, whoa, this is getting pretty heavy right off the bat. And then the second issue started and it's a different point in his life and he's still there. I'm like, what have you gotten me into, Dave?
And then he died again.
And then again and again and again. But each one isn't like a shock value death or anything like that. It's not told to like...
No, they're the most natural, unassuming deaths.
Right.
You know, none of them are like these grandiose, like, explicit things.
Right.
It's very, like, realistic, kind of mundane
Yeah.
deaths that, like, yeah, I guess that's how it goes.
Right.
You know? At any point. Like, sometimes it's a moment where, like, oh no, not now! And then other times it's like, no, and they just died.
Yeah. It's so good, and like
It's great. I loved it when he died.
I can't put forward enough that as dour as this seems, it still gives you the great feeling inside about like how to live your life to like its fullest extent.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
The life is the journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like the main character is kind of stuck in this like daydreaming or day tripping mindset where throughout the whole book at every stage of his life he's kind of like waiting for his life to begin.
Right.
Like he would know like, okay, now I've got it.
Yep.
And unbeknownst to him, at that moment he meets his demise every time.
Right.
So, I mean, the book really is about kind of accepting that death can happen at any point, and that ultimately it's just a part of life, and you can't sit there like dreading or waiting, you just have to kind of live life.
Right.
And that sounds like kind of a cliched, like, oh, you know, life is a journey, man, that type of thing, but they do it in such a realistic, like, unassuming, unpreachy way.
Right.
And maybe some of it is through the Brazilian lens too, so it's a different culture than we're used to seeing like in American comics, but it just feels so like fleshed out and familiar, like you can totally relate to all these characters,
and the way
outside of like society and cultural,
and the way they explain it like near the end like puts you at ease, like with anything that's going on. It's just like,
I know.
Okay, I feel better.
Yeah. I know, it's strange to say, but like reading this made me kind of okay with dying.
Yeah,
like,
it really did.
Like, obviously, I don't want to, but it's just kind of like, you know, I had a good run. You think instead of thinking of, I should have done that, I should have done this, you just like, you had your life, you enjoyed it.
Right,
You made your impact, everything.
Really heavy themes just laid flat in like just a few lines, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way.
Oh, I know. So there's a couple different, like, as we said, each issue deals with him at a different stage in his life, and he meets his end, like, vacationing with his college friend, where they go to, like, a festival on the water, and he drowns. I guess we'll try not to spoil too many of these, but there's times when he meets a woman that he meets on vacation. They get into a relationship, and she leaves him, and he's kind of picking up the pieces, wondering what he's going to do when he meets another girl. Later on, she becomes like his future wife and mother of his child. Yep. It flashes back to him like as a child at like 6 or 7. It shows him as an old man with his own children grown up. Yep. And all the while still carrying this theme of him like just kind of like, oh, I need to do something. I need to write this great book to like honor my father. I need to do all this until, spoilers, the end, when it's really just about accepting, you know. There's a great quote in here that I'm going to read real quick because I think this like sums it up great, where he's talking to his own son in almost like a dream state, I think. He says, "Life is like a book, son. Every book has an end. No matter how much you like that book, you'll get to the last page and it will end. No book is complete without its end, and once you get there, only when you read the last words will you see how good the book is." Beautiful.
Yeah. That's like the line that's just like, yeah. It's all like putting it in perspective, and you're like, and then you just like kick back and wait for you to croak.
Exactly. There's another one too. It's all about the twists life can take, but ultimately they all end the same. And by accepting that, you can truly enjoy the time you have. So, man, it sounds dour, but it's not.
No,
you know,
it's all uplifting. Yeah. And it's all told very beautifully and illustrated very beautifully into the synergy of beautiful.
Yes. The synergy and the center of beautiful.
That's right. That's right.
That's business lingo.
That's right.
All right, buzzwords. So most of the art, like the pencils or the inks, the visuals of this are very much Fabio Moon, and he has a little bit more of a rough, like fluid style than his brother. Gabriel Ba has more angular, a little less detailed. He did the Umbrella Academy. Yep. And Moon, I just think this fits it so well.
Yeah.
I'd really like to know how they work on a book together. You know, like,
me too.
they're both on it. I mean, it's both their book. So, like, does one ink? Does one pencil? Does one... Bod did a lot of the covers.
Mm-hmm.
Do they both get a paycheck? Like, I don't know. Like, do you just when you hire one, you get the other one? I don't know. I think it's really interesting though, because very rarely do they do a book without the other person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very curious on like what the balance is between the art duties.
Yeah.
But art aside, like this is just a beautifully written book, and for two guys that are mainly known as artists, they're fantastic writers too.
Right.
There's some quotes and passages in this that like just bring a tear to my eye thinking about it.
Yeah.
And oh man, it's one of those books that you can hand anybody completely unfamiliar with comics,
right,
or someone that's steeped in comics, and it'll blow them away because it's unlike anything else.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So a new person might be like, "Oh, this is comics?"
Yeah.
Like, well, not most of them, but it can be.
But some of them.
Yeah, yep. And then someone that reads nothing but superheroes, it's like a breath of fresh air.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
like, "Oh my god, this is just what I needed."
Yeah.
So we both have kids now.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I had a kid when I first read this, but that also makes a difference too, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I had my first before when I read it the first time, but you had me read it because I had one on the way.
Oh yeah, that was it. This will get you crying.
Yeah. So now, once that emotional bond is there, it definitely hits you differently.
Oh yeah,
definitely hits you differently.
Yeah, and a lot of it is also about like when you have your own kid, your life is no longer yours.
Right.
Like your duty in life now is to protect and raise your child.
Yeah.
And then when you have done that to the fullest extent, when your kid is able to exist without you, that is the point where you can comfortably perish, I guess. It's another one of the big themes in it, like one of the lessons of it.
Yep.
Yeah. If we didn't have smiles on our faces, one could take a completely different connotation from the words that we're saying. But it's such a, I don't want to even call it a feel-good, kind of. It's just a mixed emotion.
Right. It's emotionally uplifting.
Yeah.
While dealing
with subject matter that is usually very morbid.
Right. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I could go for a reread of this.
Right
anytime, like once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those that's in a constant rotation, and it knocked down. I don't know. I've got like a top 3, and we've done most of them on the show. Lock and Key, Watchmen, and this, and I feel like every time I read this, it's probably going to climb higher. I would say it's number 2 or 1 right now.
Oh my god,
it's just so good, so good, so unassumingly good. Where do these guys get the nerve?
Get off!
Yeah. Oh. So, I mean, I guess that's DayTripper. We've once we said we were going to do this one, we had a lot of people chiming in saying it's a great book, one of their favorites.
And it's like I want to talk more about in specifics about it, but I don't want to spoil on the show because just the emotional impact of you reading it through without any knowledge of it.
Yeah.
We'll do it way more justice.
Oh, yeah. This is not a book that, like, I want to spoil for someone, because that will lessen the impact of a lot of these, but just the fact that, like, it's so realistic, and, like, every day, you don't want to call it a slice of life, because that sounds kind of boring, but it is. You can totally relate to it. I can't think of another, like, anything in media that, like, dealt with death so well. Maybe the show 6 Feet Under. Even though that got a little ridiculous at times, but that finale, whew.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Tears like a waterfall.
Oh god.
For hours. I don't know. It hit me at the wrong time, I guess. But that's it. I mean, that's DayTripper. Highly recommended. And a great way to kick off 2018 season 3.
That's right. So if the world has got you down, read DayTripper.
Yep.
It'll make you feel better, I hope.
Yes. Yeah. If not, maybe we're completely off the mark. But
or maybe it'll make you get into coffee again and take up smoking.
Exactly.
Who knows?
As long as it has an impact.
Right. God, I'd never smoked in my life. But, like, they make it look so romantic in that book that it's just like, I could go for a cigarette right now.
Yeah. Can't believe smoking didn't take him out in any of these. My lord.
Right?
He's always smoking. How exotic.
I know. But anyway, so that's DayTripper, everybody. If you've read it, let us know down below of what you thought of the story. And if you haven't, please go out and buy it immediately.
Yeah,
you won't be
totally a blind
disappointed.
buy.
Yep.
Yeah.
But until next time when we dive into more things about comics, I've been Short of the Max Extreme.
And I've been Ghost Hunter Dave. And if you want to, do a quick read and read along with us for the next one, we are going to take the mood way down as we dive into Alan Moore's Neonomicon.
Yes.
With a side of Providence, maybe. So, that's it.
So join us next time for that. Bye-bye?
Yeah.
Cheers.